Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. We made it to Friday. Yay. Welcome to Biz Talk.
All right. Yes, that helps a little bit on this cloudy, gloomy day. Get you pumped up a little bit. Welcome to Biz Talk, everybody. I'm Glenna Hum, the president of Fusion One Marketing, and we are here every Tuesday and Friday to highlight local businesses, to hear how they make their businesses stand out, but also for them to give us a few tips along the way. But before I get started and introduce everybody, I want to remind you where you can find our broadcasts. We have a new podcast, which is called Marketing and a Mic. And basically that consists of all of these lives that we do. And you can find it basically wherever you find your favorite podcast. We are live on Facebook and YouTube every Tuesday and Friday morning. And then you can catch the replays on all of those channels. So you should be able to find us somewhere. All right. I'm going to go ahead and let Sarah and Kelsey introduce themselves, and then we will introduce our guest.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Sarah. I'm the director of digital marketing.
Good morning. I'm Kelsey, a social media manager for Fusion One Marketing.
All right. So I've been starving for like 2 weeks preparing for this next guest because his food is absolutely unbelievable. So I'm just going to warn you, you will be very hungry before we're done. So we're excited to have Scott Richards this morning with 2 Men and a Pig. Good morning, Scott.
How are y'all? Morning, everyone.
Doing great. How are you doing this early Friday morning?
So far, so good. Already been out at it. So just sit down here for a few minutes and then get back to doing what I do. So,
which sounds like a lot. It sounds like you work 24/7.
A little bit sometimes.
Well, we're going to jump right into it. Tell us a little bit about your background and your family.
Just a little bit, kind of been in several. I'm kind of, I guess, what you call a serial entrepreneur. Yes, actually, the best thing that ever happened to me, I guess, I got laid off, and then I decided to start a business about every 3 years. So that's where I'm at now. Even when you have like a hobby, which I was doing competition barbecue, it turned into a business. So it really wasn't planned. To just kind of turned into that when created a demand for it, and aspect of there. So as far as family, wife, 2 kids, dog. Sleeping on the ground right here, right now. So other than that, just pretty simple, pretty boring life. Not a real, nothing real too exciting for me. I guess, when you have your businesses are like kids, so you have to take care of those just like your family and stuff like that. So that's kind of my social life.
I completely understand. And actually, Kelsey and Sarah do too. Fusion One Marketing people, we don't take many breaks, so we get it. I'll tell you what. We all tried your barbecue this week for the first time, and we give it 5 stars, definitely all across the board. And we worked really hard to find 5 piggy stars for you,
Nice.
so that it would match. But it was absolutely mouth-watering, and
so good.
We would highly recommend it.
It was so good. My whole family, we were like vultures when it came. We attacked it, and nobody wanted to stop eating. It was so
good. Pushing each other out of the way.
We really were. We were like, I want more.
We appreciate it.
Oh, it was very good. Very good. So I wanted to ask you, what prompted you to start 2 Men and a Pig? Because we talked earlier this week, and you had mentioned that it kind of started with a competition. I think, was it like something at like a Sloss Fest competition? Is that where it initially started? Tell us more about that.
Yeah, I would say we were, kind of a hobby competition barbecue. Just, I think the first time I kind of got into, I went to Sloss Furnace. They had a barbecue competition. Went there. Said, as a spectator, I said, this looks like fun. I've done barbecue in the backyard. Let me try this out. Next year, I enter it, 65 teams. I finished 63rd out of 65. So I wasn't last, but I was right there. So I said, well, if I'm going to do this, maybe. So started practicing, stuff like that. Met my partner, Ron Dennis. He had been kind of doing this on a kind of a national level and stuff like that. He was traveling around, actually got to number 6 in the country.
Wow.
So we kind of combined forces. He kind of helped us out. I kind of got that barbecue bug on the competition side. So we started doing stuff. 3 years later, we won, Sloss Furnace barbecue competition. That's kind of where it begun. And then we just decided to, actually, people just asked us to do stuff for them. So that's how the business aspect, it wasn't really, it just kind of, when I guess people find out you have different type of barbecue from a competition style, people want that. So it just kind of built off referral base. It's a referral based business. It's not like we really don't advertise much. I basically make posts on social media when we do something or where we're going, but that's the extent of my marketing efforts and stuff like that. So it's just kind of grown organically from that standpoint. So that's where we're at today.
That's a fantastic success story. Would you say that you have always had like a love for grilling, or do you think you found that love when you were trying to hone your skills?
Yeah, I think, I don't know. Well, I kind of evolved into it. I don't think I was ever just kind of got into it. My mom was always a good cook. My brother was actually probably better, enjoyed it more than me. So they probably, if you would have said I would be in the food business out of the family, it wouldn't have been me. So, but I just kind of evolved into that from that standpoint and just kind of figured out a way how I can market and how can we sell it and be unique from that standpoint. So.
Well, I would say how you market is just have somebody taste it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just want people to taste the food, and then let it speak for itself. If we always tell, we try to make it, we actually want to run out of food. We want to have fresh barbecue daily and stuff like that. One of the freshest barbecue out there served daily and stuff like that, not be able to because, that's kind of how the mantra that we're built on, the best product possible.
Perfect.
Yeah. Well, speaking of fresh food served daily, we know you have a food truck. So tell us your concept of using the food truck. Is it mostly to do catering? Do you do concessions? Do you do drive-bys in neighborhoods? What all do you do with the food truck?
A little bit of both. Well, I mean, just before all this happened, we were basically, I would say, 95% catering, concessions, and fundraising. That consists of people meeting. Guess what? People aren't meeting anymore. So we kind of had to do a pivot. So things that we decided to do was we're doing like a weekly pickup where people could come by and pick up, whole butts, meat by the pound and stuff like that. So that was pretty successful doing that. So people, you could take the little vacuum seal bags that we vacuum seal them, drop it in the water and boil it. And you got a meal for 4 that from that standpoint. So, and take the food truck out. Yes. The great thing about it actually has kind of been a blessing in disguise because I get to take my vehicle out, people know that we're coming out there. So we kind of get set up. People tell them we're coming. And then we get to expose our business to people we never maybe ever got exposed to. So yes, we're creating revenue, but also it's marketing our business by going to the people. So next time, hopefully when all this stuff's over, it'll pivot to us when they have a corporate event or a wedding or something like that. They'll think of us for hopefully barbecue or catering for their next event or tailgate party or something like that. So I think it's hopefully keeping your brand top of mind and your food in the people's mind. So when they do think of something, I need that for something, they'll think of us.
Absolutely. You mentioned you vacuum seal some of your meats so that people can drop it in boiling water to cook. Is that a product that you sell? Like, is that your curbside service, or is that something I could do? I could just walk up to the truck and go, I want a bag of pork.
Well, no, we don't. We usually do that for pre-stuff because we'll vacuum seal. Like if we have some left over or people want to order it, we'll cook it fresh. It's just an easy way for people to warm up, because we're thinking, especially during this time, people are, you can't go out to a restaurant. So you need how can I cook something fast and it's still restaurant quality? So we have a vacuum seal. We vacuum seal it tight and you just take it right, holds up to boiling water, warm it up, and you can do whatever you want with it. You can put it on a salad, put it on a baked potato. You can put it on, a taco night, whatever you want to do with it, whatever you want to do. So that's been pretty successful and people seem to enjoy that.
It was absolutely delicious. We picked up some of the vacuum sealed and we just threw it in the microwave. I didn't know the secret about the boiling.
You can do that too, either way.
Is the boiling, does that keep it more moist? Is that the idea of?
Well, just because when it's all in those juices in there, so all that fat kind of renders down in there, and it just kind of it keeps it fresher and stuff from that standpoint. So it seems to work pretty well. So people seem to enjoy. I mean, I have people that that come every week. The same people that are buying 4 to 6 pounds of the stuff. They said I gotta have it. So it's been pretty good. So
you think you can freeze it? I mean,
oh yeah.
Okay. Because
Yeah,
I might come and see you tonight just to get some to stick in the freezer. Because we put it on everything. We put it on salads. We put it on, I hate to say this, I put it on nachos. I mean, I did.
Yep.
It's so good on nachos. I did the same thing, Glenna.
we serve a barbecue nacho, so that's one of our food truck items that we do sell. So.
Good Lord. Well, everybody's hungry. We have people joining us and they're already starving. I already warned you guys. We have Melissa Dixon joining us this morning, LaVon Cheney, Cindy Edmonds, who says now she's craving barbecue. You got to try it, Cindy. Will be even more. Yeah. Alan Young is joining us. Now, Alan's got a question for you, Scott. He's like, I can't get a good bark on my smoked meats. Do you have a secret? Or what's the secret? Or can you divulge your secret? Because
well, and I think that's I think that's always an aspect of it you can kind of go for. The rubs that you use. I think if you have something with a kind of a sugar-based rub, it tends to bark up and stuff like that. And the type of wood that you use, you may want, if you want a little bit more bark to it, you may want to put, use a heavier wood such as an oak or a hickory or something like that to kind of give it a little bit more aspect there. So that'll kind of give you that bark aspect of it. And the heavy coats of a kind of a sugary, I would say, rub would probably help. Depending on what type of meat you're doing, that would probably be a good aspect for it. Try that.
That's some great tips. And that kind of leads me into, do you say that you have a secret sauce or a secret blend that you use in your competitions that maybe nobody quite has the recipe? Or
in competition, it's one of those things where everybody's kind of doing the same thing, and you're separate. I mean, one week you'll do the same exact thing, finish first place in this or that, and the next week you'll do the same exact thing and finish 25th. So the separation is not much. So you may do the same thing. So we try to keep it pretty simple. Timing, technique, and temperature. We want to cook it to use the technique that we always use. Cook it to the right temperature, and then take it off at the right time when it's ready to be done. So it's those things are very from that standpoint, we try to live by those the 3 T's. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. So that's part of it.
And what were the 3 T's again?
Timing, technique, and temperature.
Okay.
Perfect. That matters. Yes. Well, you've kind of shared a few little tips, but we have a little segment called Tip Time. So we're going to launch into that, and we're going to ask you some pro tips. So here we go.
Woohoo!
So what would you say is sort of your number one pro tip that you could share for preparing top quality barbecue that people could do at home?
I would, in any situation that, people want to go out, I got to have this cooker, I got to have this, got to spend this. But we started out on a basic, $200 Weber Smoky Mountain, smoker and stuff like that. That's, you don't have to have that, but I would say that just, make sure that, get it, most of the meats, you can get them anywhere. Get you a good thermometer. Thermometers, I think, are a key. That's because, it's like cooking a steak. Nobody likes an overcooked steak or something like that. Whatever meat you're cooking, cook it to the correct temperature, whatever you're cooking it to and stuff like that. Buy a good thermometer. I recommend we use one called a Thermopin. It is about $80, but I can check the temperature. That made me a much better cook when I can know exactly what temperature I can take something off at, and people are impressed of how juicy something is or something like that. But you got to know what temperature you're cooking it to. That's the key right there. Temperature.
That's a huge tip. Yeah,
that is a really huge tip. I bet you there's a lot that are just eyeballing it and not checking the temperature.
I'm not that good, so I rather have the real thing. So.
Your product consistent.
Yeah, and we've touched on your amazing quality of food, but I think it's worth it for the viewers to kind of we want to show a few pictures and tell us kind of what we're looking at here. Because
what are you doing to us?
I haven't had breakfast. I'm really hungry, and this looks
Yeah, those are ribs. You got ribs there. That's our. There's some bread pudding right there. It looks like. Yeah, got some. That's a kind of a plate we got over there. That's our street corn that we do. It's kind of a street corn. That's a Boston butt, things like that. So we've kind of developed some different things over time because we kind of have to. We've even gotten some cuisine that we're some Cajun cuisine. My partner Ron, he lived in Louisiana for 4 years, so we've gotten jambalaya and things like that. We're actually doing a jambalaya cook next weekend at Selwood for a men's day that we're going out there and actually doing a demonstration of how to cook outdoors, and we're going to be cooking jambalaya in a big cast iron 10-gallon pot. So that's one of the things that we do.
That sounds so good.
A little bit trying to be a little versatile off that. So we've done some things a little outside the box. Did a crawfish boil last night
I saw that. That looks so awesome.
A crawfish and shrimp boil. So that was pretty good. So it's we've kind of delved into some other things besides barbecue. It's gathering of people. It's fun.
Awesome. Well, here I'm going to show it off to our viewers. So, is your food truck menu the same as this menu, or is this your catering menu?
That is our food truck menu right there.
Okay.
That's the food truck menu, and actually that'll be the menu tonight. We're going to be out in Forest Lakes, out in Sterrett, out in the Chelsea area. So we will have brisket tonight. I would say, that's one of the meats that, especially in Alabama, this is pretty much a pork area and stuff like that. But it's hard to find good brisket. We kind of put our brisket. We actually got a comment the other day from a customer that we did brisket. She sent me a text saying, and I actually posted on social media that, I put her comment up there. Basically, this is so juicy, so tender, the smoke line. So people do give me comments and back and forth. So we do like to interact with our customers like that, because sometimes our food, people just can't get that type of food around here in this area because the way we cook it and the details that we put into cooking the food.
Gotcha. So so for catering though, you have a separate menu for that, or is it the same as your food truck?
We do, and it's basically a lot of the same thing. We just kind of put together like meals and things like that. We have an online menu, like you can follow us through Easy Cater. We have on our website. We do have our cater menu up on there, and we do have when we do email and stuff like that out to people and stuff like that. And we do try to cater to catering is cater to what the people want. So we do have a base menu to kind of here's an idea, But then if you want to like do this or do that, we kind of work with people and stuff like that, because catering is personalized to the person that's ordering the food, not to what I'm doing. So
that's awesome. I love it.
Sounds like you do pretty much any event that people would like to have your type of food. But you can cater to them. I guess that's part of catering. Well, Lance says he's getting hungry. Everybody's getting hungry. Chad Bennett, he's like,
okay, yeah.
Like, what is Scott Richards doing on my phone?
We grew up together in Pleasant Grove, so he used to live down the street from me and stuff like that. So, yeah.
So that must explain this comment.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, that's Chad. I think he lives out there. Maybe he'll stop by the food truck tonight. So.
Yes, Forest Lake. She said right off of 43, right?
Yep, right off there, right off Forest Lakes.
Yep. Okay. Keith Vaughn wants to know, and this depends on what kind of meat you're cooking, I guess. What kind of temp do you cook at if you're measuring it?
Yeah. Oh, well, what's up, Keith? How you been? I hadn't seen that's a familiar face. That's an old nationwide guy right there and stuff like that. Used to call me. It kind of depends where we're cooking and how much time that we do have. We try to do low. I mean, we do try to that 225 to 250 range. Now, if I cook faster, sure, but we're more of a slower cooking style and stuff like that. A little bit lower from that standpoint, that 225 to 250 range, stuff like that. But we, if sometimes you're pressed into a deadline or something like that, I've cooked as high as 350 to 400, but I'd say 9 times out of 10, 225 to 250 is kind of depending on which protein we're cooking.
Low and slow.
Well, everything on your menu obviously is fantastic. Something always catches my eye. Anything mac and cheese, I'm all in for. So I had not seen mac and cheese bowls before. How did you come up with that?
I think it was a collaboration of that, and then we saw some other, when you find stuff on social media, other kind of people are doing it, so we kind of put our own spin on it, and it's kind of a good crossover dish. I think one thing in the food industry, you're trying to, you can't if you're on a food truck, you're limited in the space. So,
True.
If I serve macaroni and cheese as a side, what else can I do with it? Plus, so I can sell it in 3 different ways and be the same thing and stuff like that. So it just kind of crosses over different ways, so you can find the appetite of somebody else that you're offering a different menu. So it's kind of a little bit of marketing, I would say, plus also save you on food cost and things like that. Now I can sell one thing 3 different ways.
That sounds great. So explain it to me. Is it you can have any meat you want, and then do you put barbecue sauce on top of it, or how's it presented?
Yeah, normally on a mac and cheese bowl, you take picture the nachos. If you did nachos, where you put chips down, this we're going to put macaroni and cheese on the bottom. We're going to put your protein over the top of that, which could be pork, chicken, or brisket. Then we're going to put more cheese over the top of that, hit with barbecue sauce, and then if you want jalapenos or pickles on that, you can have jalapenos or pickles of it. It's a pretty good portion. It'll feed a crowd.
Holy cow! Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Okay, I'm done.
It's not low carb or low fat, so that's not what we have done.
No.
Right. Yeah. Let's see. I've got Cindy Emmons had a question. She wanted to know what kind of sides that you offer. I know you had stated that you can customize a little bit, but do you have some standard sides?
Yeah, I would say, we do the basic, beans, potato salad, slaw, chips, mac and cheese. We'll throw one out there every once in a while. And a lot of the ones everything we make is homemade. So we're not buying a brand of thing. We're making it homemade. Most of our stuff, we do use the smoker and that thing. So it does give it a distinctive taste to it. So if our mac and cheese is smoked, our beans are smoked,
Wow.
We'll try some different stuff. We do the corn. That's kind of a street corn, and we do that on the smoker also. So just kind of give that that smoked barbecue flavor and stuff like that on there.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, Cindy says keto who, but Cindy, you can have all the meat you want. And so
keto who. So you said you're in Forest Lakes tonight. You're in Chelsea, I believe, during the day tomorrow. So where can people find your food truck coming up in the next several days? And how can someone get you to come to their neighborhood?
Tonight we're in Forest Lakes, 5 to 7. Chester Plantation in Chelsea. Tomorrow, I think 12 to 3 maybe, and then we're going to Leeds after that from 5 to 7 for dinner. And then Monday we're taking Mother's Day off, stuff like that. So I was given strict orders not to work on Mother's Day. So, so we're working. We're gonna be in Hillsborough on Monday, in Helena, and then we're going to Waterford and Calera. I think we're off Wednesday and Thursday. Oh, we're in Vestavia Mountain Woods Community on Thursday and Friday. To be honest with you, I'm not even sure that far ahead of time. So that's why I got a calendar and stuff like that. But
exactly.
I think one of the ways that's kind of worked for us is just we've tried to coordinate with the HOAs or the management companies to kind of get us to these neighborhoods, stuff like that, because it seems to work better when they kind of organize it, and we do better. They kind of know when we're coming and stuff like that. So it seems to do a lot better like that. And we do post when we're coming on social media and things like that. So to let people know that we'll be there and stuff like that. So we do try to reach out, but you can reach us out through Facebook or email or phone or everything like that. So pretty easy to contact. So.
Okay, wonderful. So I'm guessing you post where your truck's going to be located on your Facebook page.
We do. Yep.
So follow 2 Men and a Pig on Facebook. And then if you wanted to place like a pre-order, what's the best way to go about doing that?
Either on Facebook or send a email into us at 2menpig@gmail.com. So it's pretty simple, or call, either way, text, call, whatever they'd like to do. The easiest way.
We'll share your information at the end so that everybody can screenshot that.
Okay.
Blow your phone up today for some barbecue.
That's fine. No problem. We'll get it done.
Well, we're coming back over here. Gail says yummy. Oh my gosh. Chad said Forest Lakes might be possible. He might be stopping by tonight. I might be too. Let's see. Cindy's like, yeah, but those sides. I know, Cindy. Sometimes you just have to give it up. Yeah, Claire that's hungry, and Melissa Dixon's like, come to Griffin Park. So Melissa, get that set up. Yeah. Now we've talked about your catering and everything. As far as how many people do you have to have, or do you have a minimum of the amount of people that you need for catering?
I would say we try to, we do as little, we do a lot of, I would say we try to keep a minimum dollar amount. We try to stay around $150 just, because we're making everything fresh for you. We're not, now if we have something we piggyback off somebody else or something like that, we'll do it. But normally, if it's a strict catering order, we're going to be in that $150 range. That 10 to 12 person is kind of a minimum that we kind of look for. Our kind of price point, and it could be you can do as little as $7.50 for a sack lunch, and kind of $12 is kind of our price point, and that gets you everything. You don't have to do anything. You have an event. We do a lot of lunches for doctor's office, pharmaceutical reps. We do a lot for lunch and learns and for realtors and things like that. So we're doing a lot of that aspect of it, because we try to work. I like working with kind of one person. They kind of coordinate it where they're doing multiple lunches. So we try to cater to them so they don't have to think about anything. The food's set up, it's ready to go, it's on time, it's hot, it's good, and people will kind of rave about it and stuff like that. And we try to fit a budget to whatever fits you and stuff like that. We're not, here's what it is, but it's got to make sense for both parties. So we try to work with people like that.
Well, I think not the number one, there's a lot of great points, but that it's all fresh. I mean, it's all homemade, it's all fresh. That is a huge difference, I know, between you and a lot of other restaurants or a lot of other food trucks, probably. So, anyway, Sarah, I took your question, but I think you can ask the second half.
Well, when you were talking about the minimum, I was going to ask you too, is there other types of events that you only cater to, or what is it, just large groups, or is there any limit to the type?
No. Like we'll do anything. Like we're doing Tuesday. We're actually doing and this is just give you a little example. Tuesday, we're doing we've picked up we're doing a shift. We do a lot of shift work for people that have to work on shifts and things like that. So we're doing a sack lunch on 2 different shifts. So we're actually going to have a delivery at 11 o'clock in the morning, and then we're doing a delivery again at 10 o'clock at night for another one. So we're pretty flexible as far as we do stuff. We're going to do that on Tuesday and Thursday. Plus, we're going to feed about 250 nurses at St. Vincent's on Tuesday. So we're going to do a sack lunch for them. So we're going to be feeding some nurses and stuff like that on Tuesday. So just from that standpoint, anywhere from 20 people to 250 people and stuff like that. It's in our wheelhouse.
Wow.
One last question about catering. How far out will you go? If somebody wants to have a lunch and learn out in Trussville, will you go out there? How far?
Sure. I've gone as far as Springville. I've gone to Tuscaloosa. We've it just depends. If it's somebody that's going to send me stuff on a regular basis, that's because I'm gonna work with them. We're gonna partner together. I look as more of a partner, part of their team and stuff like that. When you're going to do a lunch and learn, you're trying to market to, a group of realtors or this, and you're trying to, or whatever it is. We want to be part of that team. So if you're having one here, we want to be part of that. So because just another way to expose my business to people that are not in my area that maybe can find us one day.
Fantastic. How far out do people need to contact you if they want you to come cater an event?
We like to have as much time as possible. But people have called me the day before, or 3 hours before, or something like that. And sometimes we can pull it off. But I think it's always worth a call just before we do it. So, but no, not that much. We can put together. I need at least 24 hours so I can get some of the meat done and stuff like that, because it's we have to cook overnight, things like that. So.
Okay, so you do stay up 24 hours a day.
Luckily, we have a smoker that we've had to it cooks pretty good, but it works up by itself all night, so we don't have to stay and manage it, stuff like that. So that was one of the purchases we decided to do this. I said we're not going to be doing stick burning all night and stuff like that. So we have a commercial smoker that can cook about 400 pounds of meat at a time. So it's
wow. Okay. Yeah. That works. Gail, tonight, I believe it's 5 to 7, right, Scott, at Forest Lake?
That's correct.
5 to 7. Everybody go see him. Well, let's get to who are the best referral partners for you. I know you've mentioned realtors. Who can we refer to you that would be somebody that keeps coming back?
Anybody that buys lunches. I got several people that do, that are trying to market to those, like, home inspectors, mortgage brokers that are in that real estate group, pharmaceutical reps, people that are in charge of training, anybody that is in charge of groups or things like that. We want to partner with those people and be a partner. We're not just delivering a lunch; we're providing a service, and we're in the customer service business, the people business. So people, if you're happy with the food that you get and they're happy, it makes the event a little bit more memorable, and they may get some business off from that standpoint. So
I think we're all getting Amber Alert.
Yeah.
I think they all came on our phone.
Nice.
They're good.
But that's kind of what we look for. Those are the best referrals. But we'll do any, if it's just one person or something like that. But from a referral standpoint, that can build off other referrals, we're definitely looking for people that do lunches all the time and be a partner with them.
Perfect.
We even do breakfast for people. We do breakfast. So we also do that. So put our own spin on breakfast and things like that. So we'll get up and do breakfast for people and stuff like that. So.
Well, and the neighborhoods, are you coming to the same neighborhoods? Do you have it like on a revolving calendar, or are you just kind of picking and choosing as you go?
Well, when people reach out and they kind of have a date in mind, we'll take a look at the calendar. That kind of grew organically, especially during this time. People reached out to us and we looked at the calendar. I mean, like we're booked up all the way through May, just about, just about every day, 4 to 5 nights a week and things like that, plus doing the other stuff that we do. So it's been there. And then we've already started doing some dates in June, doing some of the ones we've been to, and then people that reach out to us want to come to their stuff. So, and a lot of it just been organically where somebody have seen us on social media, or they saw us at another event. Hey, come to our neighborhood. So 100% referral base and things like that. So that's kind of how we work things.
That's awesome. Well, we'll give a shout out to Elite BNI. I know that Kelsey and I are in Summit, so we get that referral base. That's a huge deal. So, all right, Sarah.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to pop up your contact information so that everybody can place their order. So that's very important. Get those orders out. Is there anything else that we didn't cover that you wanted to mention?
No, I think that pretty much hit it. And if anybody wants to call me or just talk barbecue or whatever, I'll be happy to do it. So that we're always up for that. Give any tips or anything like that. So it's fun to just talk about that stuff.
Yeah, very much so. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, our final segment, which we always enjoy, is called the hot seat. So I don't know if we've even briefed you on this, but here we go.
Okay, we're going to get 60 seconds, and I'm just going to ask you random questions. It's just fun. So I'll give you a this or that, and you can give us your answer. So does somebody have our 60 seconds?
I do.
Some of these are funny and geared towards women, so I'm not sure I'm going to. Bowling or miniature golf?
Miniature golf.
Are you a late person or an early person?
Early.
Tattoos or piercings?
Probably neither, but if I had to choose, it'd be a tattoo.
You don't have to choose. Okay, Netflix or Hulu?
Well, I did watch a Netflix last night, so that's good Netflix. I don't know how to work any of that stuff anyway, so.
So we'll stick with what you know. I think I know the answer to this one. Fast food or homemade?
Homemade.
Yeah. Taylor Swift or Beyonce?
We'll go Beyonce.
Okay. Fruits or vegetables?
Veggies.
Hot dogs or hamburgers?
Hamburger.
Okay. Middle part or side part?
What is that?
Side part? I don't know. I had hair. I don't have any hair. So.
He goes, can we end there, please?
Yeah.
Well, you made it. You made it.
That was good. That was good.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Scott, we really want to thank you for taking time out. I know you're so busy with everything you have going, but we really appreciate you coming on with us. I really hope that this turns into some more business if you guys have time to even do more business, but we sure have enjoyed you and enjoy your food. And everybody come out to Forest Lakes tonight, 5 to 7, Chester Plantation tomorrow in Chelsea from 12 to 3, correct?
That is correct. We'll have ribs. We'll have ribs tomorrow, so come get the ribs.
Okay, fantastic. And brisket tonight, right?
I think brisket tomorrow. We're going to actually do brisket for Leeds, and I think ribs for Chester Plantation tomorrow. We're just doing pork and chicken tonight. Okay, perfect. All right. Well, thanks for joining us, everyone. We will be back for the next Biz Talk Tuesday at 8 with our special guest, Alex Brackett from A Hole in the Wall. He's a really funny guy, so that'll be a great segment. We also will be live Thursday for Marketing Mix. So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.